Well, friends, I finally made it over here to Brian's house, and I was telling him what I was talking about on the way over here. It seems like whenever I have a need, he's always got the remedy for it, and he tells me to just come on over and get it. So that's what neighbors are for, right?
Exactly.
But that's also, he's a really, really, really good friend. But let me take you over here and show you what he happened to find. The set of forks, they're bent just a little bit. The guy said that he lifted up some heavy concrete and bent it just a little bit, but he said if I wanted to take the tractor and run over it and kind of bend it back out, I was welcome to. The thing is though, I only need to get past the original forks that I've got just a little ways because it's so far to reach and I didn't want it right up next to the tractor. I think that that's going to work out perfect. So we're going to load these up and head back to the house, and if I can round up some help over there, then we'll see if we can't get that sawmill moved. I tell you what, folks, I sure am glad that Brian was able to get a hold of those, because that saved me about $100, right at $200 to order the extra large ones and get them here in 2 days. That way I can have another video out for you guys, hopefully next week. But yeah, just to be on the safe side, I needed something a little bit longer than the forks that I had in order to do the job that we needed to do. But it seems like Brian always comes through in a pinch where I get in the bind and then I'm sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? And then just out of the blue, one time he texted me and said, hey, I was watching one of your videos and you need blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I got it, come on down and get it. So yeah, just, you know, you all, I know that Brian watches this channel as well. Leave him some thumbs up and give him a big attaboy for coming up with those to be able to move that sawmill over there where it needs to go. Well, friends, we're almost home and I've got something else new that I want to show you. So I'll see you when we get there. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. This is something that I learned of watching a channel called, here's a tip, Hobby Hardwood. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I think you'll like it. But it is a cottonseed or cotton hull spindle, lubricant, and detergent. And it kind of works like diesel. It helps to keep the blade clean. It's used mainly, and some people may even know what I'm talking about here, big farm machinery that they have a lot of moving parts, like their blades and their teeth on their machines, and it just keeps the blades from getting all gooped up with resin and things like that. So yeah, I ordered some, and here's the cool thing about it. It says to use anywhere from 32 to 64 ounces per 100 gallons of water. So friends, since we know 128 ounces in a gallon, I can actually make 200 gallons of lubricant that would basically, I guess, work kind of like diesel fuel. But you don't have the byproduct, which, you know, some people don't like the smell of it. It really doesn't bother me. But in order to keep the blades lasting longer, keep them clean, keep your rollers and everything clean and just in good proper working order, you need a good lubricant or detergent that you, now I had been using soap, and you know, in the wintertime I switched to like an RV fluid, and then in summertime of course I've been using water. But yeah, a lot of good information shared on that channel, so be sure and go check it out. But I picked me up a gallon, so friends, this will make me 200 gallons of cleaner that should last me quite a while, because I think it's what, maybe a 2.5 gallon tank on that, and you can cut quite a bit on a tank. So yeah, it's well worth the money that I spent. Another comment just happened to pop up regarding these. Were they in the right place? Did I install them backwards? No, I didn't. These go on the operator side of the frame, which in this case the operator side is over here. I'll be walking from there down to the end. The reason that I did that was because I did not intend to blow sawdust in toward the building. For me, the quickest and the easiest way always to remove sawdust is just let it pile up, scoop it up in the bucket, and take it off. I am going to try using the bucket, but here's the deal with the bucket. Hanging off of the sawmill. With about 2 passes, it's full. You got to carry the bucket somewhere. Now I could put the wheelbarrow here, and maybe I could make it through a full log that way. But honestly, like I say, the fastest way for me has always been to just let it pile up there. When you get enough, of course, now I'm going to be walking on that side, so I may have to keep it clean constantly because on a Wood-Mizer sawmill, the sawdust comes out on the same side as the operator. Anyway. Did I install these backwards? No, because normally you would load a log from this side onto the mill, mill it, and then possibly dispose of it on this side, right? And if you remember, the Norwood was laid out the same way. The stops just came up vertically. So no, these were installed on the correct side, but what my intention is to lay these down all the way, and then use these since they support themselves, unless you get them past that pivot point. But just to use these to lay the log up against, and they would stop it from rolling off, and then go ahead and raising this back up, rotating the log over, and putting it in a bind after you level it and begin sawing. So no, these were installed correctly. It's just, you know, the way that my design is and the layout and everything, it just works better for me this way. And I'm also excited about getting the first log up here, getting the mill mounted, getting it in operation, and seeing what it will do. But I tell you what, I think that this is a really good setup because it's built heavy duty. I mean, for a mill this size, it's all 3/8 plate metal, except these rectangle tubes on the side, they're 1/4 inch, but built very heavy duty. And then these feet right here, 3/4 inch bolts that run up 6 inches. But you know, I had a thought. I think what I'm going to do is I can get to every other one. I'm going to take one of the lag screws out of the feet because I can actually get to them, and I'm going to run a piece of all thread through there and tighten that down so that if anything pulled on this frame, it would have to pull on the 6x6, which is run into the anchor bolts in the concrete, so it would have to pull on the concrete as well. But you know, you get rocking motion and a big log up here, there's a lot of force, and more than you would think. But I think that might be a good idea because that would give me every other one. And with the way that it's built, I think that, you know, I think it's going to be able to withstand more than I can give it. Anyway, so the mill, we picked up the forks, right? So when I can get some help up here to transport it down here safely where nobody gets hurt and I don't, you know, lose the mill and then have to, I mean, how in the world would I ship that back to them and get it fixed? But anyway, we got to get it down here and get it set. That's what we've been waiting on. And once we do that, we're good to go. Providing everything checks out, you know, like the blade is tracking properly, you know, it's all oiled and, you know, lubricated so that everything goes up and down, forward and backwards. I know that there is some fuel in it because they do check it, but having to go through all that shipping, you know, things could get kind of a little twisted, you know, so we're going to check it and make sure that everything's in proper working order before we use it. But yeah, we'll do a video on all systems go. How about that? We'll just try to film doing everything, getting the head set up, ready to rock and roll. And check it out, UPS just delivered the cover for the Wood-Mizer. So I haven't even, I just barely lifted it up. Oh, that's really nice. Really huge. Yeah, that'll be nice. So yeah, we'll be able to protect and take care of our investment with this nice new cover. It was like a godsend to be able to have that now, just in case we get another thunderstorm like we're expecting maybe in the next 3 days of percentage worth, to be able to cover and protect our investment and take off what looks like a ghost. But yeah, thanks UPS, and thanks again Wood-Mizer. Yeah, the stuff that's sitting behind it right here is all of that solar equipment, and then there's panels over there behind that plywood. And I really need to get working on clearing that area down there beside the workshop now that the sawmill has got here, after I get it set on the track and get it ready and going. But I needed it, you know, in order to cut the material for the solar array. But I've got to move the garden area down there downhill some and get that area kind of leveled out a little bit so that I can start digging holes to build the array. Now my intentions are I will probably buy some pressure treated lumber, and I'll treat the bottom of the post just like I would do any other, even though they're pressure treated, because it just gives me peace of mind. But we need to get all those holes set and get to building a frame that I intend to use like 2x6s for the main frame. That way I can drill a hole in it and still have a lot of lumber around that, and put maybe a 1-inch pipe or you know, a large screw in there where the frame can rotate, and then fix some sort of locking mechanism to hold those panels at different angles. Anyway, so we got to get busy on that, and I also got to build a little hut. That's kind of what I've decided to do, to put this equipment in by itself, because I don't think I want it in the workshop with me, because I don't want to have to heat and cool all that area all the time. And you know, in order for the batteries and everything to run correctly, it needs to have its own temperature control. So if I can keep everything down to a minimum, because I'm not going to be down there all the time, then that's going to work better for me, I think. But yeah, we need to get on with this job that's sitting here and weeds are growing up around it. So we need to jump on that as soon as possible. But we were waiting on Mr. Mizer right here to pay us a visit and help us to secure enough material in order to do the job. And I'm going to have to get busy down there moving the trailer that we took the track down there on, all the boxes in that great big pallet. I need to get it out of the way. I need to get my truck back in its proper spot over there, and get everything organized, because now that I got the forks, we'll be able to move the head down there, get it mounted, and get it in operation. So I got to get busy. But friends, thanks so much for stopping by. We really do appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.